Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com, and in this video I'm going to do a Sky Poker mix, really. It's pretty much what I'd normally play. Um, it's how I'd personally play. Some bits might not be standard, some bits might be a bit funky, but you know, it's a bit of a sweat with me, which I've done on other sites. Now, top left we've got a 200 NL standard game, top right same thing, bottom right a 300 NL. And then bottom left's the interesting one. £1, £1, no limit hold'em, but you can buy them for 400 big blinds, which is £400. So that could get interesting, you know, being really deep in some interesting spots. You can see Ricky and Tommy and Moonflush are deep. The other two are quite short, which is pretty weird in these games. Not sure if that's good strategy or bad, but each to their own. So yeah, we're just going to get into it. If you want to sign up, hit the link below. Free t-shirts, 30% rate back. Bonuses, rake races, free merchandise, free tournament tickets, free rolls, the absolute works basically, and on a pretty huge platform, being Sky. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Pocket twos are called. Expecting people to call behind a lot. Pretty deep, you know, pair to set mine with. I think that's totally fine. As you can see here, Saggy's marked as a fish. I think he fist pumped in like King 9 on an 8-9 10 10 board, and Tanj here snapped with ace 9 and he pinned a king. Did old Saggy boy, so thought that was a little bit fishy. Or maybe Tanj is the fish and King 9 was the nuts. We'll later find out, probably in this hand, to be honest. Okay, Tanj was the fish. That's a shame. Tanj just totally gets in a 8-9 offsuit there and gets stacked, which is a super shame. So Saggy was probably actually just playing perfectly with that King 9 hand that I mentioned. That happened literally just before I turned on this recording. Great flop for us here. 9-10 suited, obviously a standard open in the cutoff. You know, 3/4 pot bet should do the job. Great turn for us if he's got a 5. Obviously the flush draw can sort of like, you know, get there on the river. Pretty big bet here. I think if he's got a 5, he's not folding. So let's pump it up. If he's got 2 pairs, probably not folding. If he's got a set, he's probably not folding. But it looks like he was just bluffing there. Sorry, you just had my phone go there, and that was simply because Poker VIP are killing it on Twitter at the moment, so we're getting a lot of notifications. I'll put that on the side though, so you don't hear any more vibrations. Ace King, simple c-bet. Poker King, I've got marked as a fish. I was playing 100 NL versus him earlier. He was just making loads of weird plays. Just, you know, really funky, really weird. You know, a lot of calling out of positions, so that's pretty cool to know. And the 9th suit, I know you might be thinking, well, why are you raising with the nuts? You know, if this guy's got a hand, we've got to get value. We've got to build a pot. We've got to get more money in the middle. If he's got a flush draw, we don't want him to bet and get there for £17. We want to charge that. And if he wants to get stubborn with a draw or 2 pair, then let's let him. Blind v blind, ace queen, pretty big. I've got a note on this guy. Flats 3 bets in position with kings. It's a pretty good note to have on someone. Something that you don't see too often. I doubt he always flats with kings in position, but at least it's good to know that's in his flatting range. 8-10 here, just a fold. I'm playing 4 tables, so it's easy to follow. Queen 4 suited, I'm defending all day, every day. I think Ludicrous is a reg here. Obviously I thought flush draw, just go ahead and call. I'm in position, blah blah blah, call the turn, bink the river, that's how the kid rolls. Gonna bet pretty big here, you know, sort of polarize my hand a little bit. Expect him to snap me with pretty much anything of marginal to strong strength. We can actually find out what he had. I'm going to guess like ace jack. Maybe better. Let's find out. For the kids, jack queen. Yeah, not even that strong. Aces here. Under the gun we could go bigger, but I think in these games 3x is fine. We get 1 flat call. Hopefully king squeezes. He does. Wow. Okay. Yeah, pretty obvious 4-bet by me here. £102, pretty small. He's probably going to peel like he Always does. And remember, offshoot does flat with kings. Maybe I could have flatted there to have him re-squeeze. That could have been pretty sexy. But obviously, like I say, I've only seen him do it once. Wow, he's actually got kings. That's amazing. What a sick note. Just need to fade a king in, isn't it? Booyah. Okay, so he flats kings in position all the time and basically goes to squeezes. Just gonna do times two there. Regardless, the 4-betting's good. Like I say, king of calls a lot out of position, blah blah blah. He makes it 45, I make it 102. It's pretty enticing, isn't it? King's under the gun, 3x open. King queen, 3x open. King queen here versus kinger. Almost want to like click it. Yeah, I'm gonna click it. Gonna check my kings on that ace high board. And again, he calls out of position like he always does. I don't want to really risk too much money here. I'm going to bet pretty small, but I'll do that with, quite the top end of my range as well. Once you check mins, I'm just going to go ahead and fold. If I hit a king or a queen, I might be happy, but I think a fold's pretty cool. Going to pot this with a king jack, hopefully take it down pre. King's here. What can call me that I sort of beat? Not a great deal, so I'm going to check and go to showdown. Yeah, he just had a gut shot. Okay, weird. Weird indeed. Not too sure what happened with this queen jack. Did I limp? Maybe I limped by accident. I meant to open. Who knows? Maybe I was. Yeah, I think. Oh no, I opened and he 3-bet. Sorry. It's a 100 in the L game. When I see 450, I got a little confused there. 8-10 suited. Gonna go ahead and squeeze. Pretty nice playable hand post flop. Not the greatest flop for us here, but certainly a flop we can rep. Interesting turn here. Might be able to get him to fold his sort of ace jacks, ace tens, king, queen jack type hands. So we'll go ahead and bet. Hopefully he folds. If he calls, hopefully a jack comes. But yeah, I think he's going to fold pretty much all the time there. Pair of fours I can call here. We are deep. Set mine in. Basically, when you're 400 big blinds deep, you can pretty much just set mine openly. Ain't no shame in that game. 8-4 suited, open the button. Can just go ahead and book there versus the 3-bet. I'm pretty relentless on the button. All in here, king 6 versus ace king. Okay, so this guy's dreadful. Simple notes like that always do the trick. The offshoot guy with the pocket kings flattened in position. I didn't actually really think about it by the time I had 4-bet, but it's quite funny knowing that he showed it with kings just after I'd mentioned that note. I'm not a big reg on Sky. I just come and go when I can be bothered, really. So I've probably only played under 1,000 hands if offshoot. Probably closer to 250 hands, to be honest. Like 1 or 2 sessions. So either a huge coincidence or just how the kid rolls. Pretty unlucky for him, obviously, when I've got aces, I've opened, he's called, someone squeezed, I've 4-bet, he's obviously licking his lips. But I'm not feeling too guilty right now. Winning a little bit of money this session, which is good. It's one of those funny things when I make the micro videos I lose, when I make the regular videos I win. Obviously I don't always lose at the micros, but you kind of feel like you're banging your head against the wall sometimes, so it's nice to show the stakes I play and how I play. And obviously win. I mean, I did just cooler the guy, I'm not exactly doing anything special, but winning is always fun. Sadly, Sky doesn't support Holder Manager or Poker Tracker or any tracking software as far as I know. There might be a few illegal ones, well not illegal, but black market ones, whatever you want to call it. But what my friend does is he has an Excel spreadsheet, or like a Google Drive spreadsheet, and sort of puts in the days and whatever, and the profit, and that shows and creates quite a cool graph, which I thought was quite a good idea. Something I'd not actually thought of. Which I'm going to start doing myself because it's nice. It's nice to see a graph. Obviously, the bottom line is how much more money you have at the end of a session, day, month, year, whatever. But to see like a real nice consistent graph is pretty cool. And everyone loves to brag graphs. Ace queen here, be a pretty obvious 3-bet. Yep, definitely no. Love squeezing that. Staggy folds, which is great, because that means I'm going to be in position versus a bound if he calls. He folds, and that's fine. I pick up, £12 there, plus my big blind that was in the middle. Risk 24 to get 13 back. Happy days. And I've got ace queen as well, so even if I get called, I'm not exactly sad about it. I'm probably going to be ahead a lot of times, or even though like I'm against smaller pairs and we're flipping all their slight favourites, I'm going to win that pot a ton, because if they go for eights and it comes 10 jack deuce or something, king 5 9, they're going to lose that pot a lot by the time I've c-bet or double barreled or even triple barreled. And that doesn't mean I'm just going to outplay everyone in that situation, but a lot of the times if they've called out a position, c-bet's going to get the job done a ton. If not, and you put them on like a marginal hand, you can go ahead and put some pressure on. I'm going to go ahead and check call with a queen 10. I think it's a pretty good open in the cut-off. And the reason I'm check calling is I'm going to induce all his bluffs, I'm going to get him to bet all his draws, I'm going to get him to bet all his worst hands, and I can just go ahead and check call there. I'd expect to check the turn a lot. The river's not great for me because it's going to be a bit more competent with an ace, but I'm going to go ahead and check and probably call anyway. Well, maybe check fold, because obviously the bet check bet line is value, but I'm going to go ahead and check and just allow him one more chance to stab at the pot. Because I've got an ace which beats me, or I win. So pretty clear-cut line of, do you check call, do you check fold? All depends on the bet sizing and timing, to be honest, but I think a lot of time I check call there, just because I've played my hand so passively and weak. Interesting here, Moonflash is limped. I'm not going to go ahead and raise the ISO like I normally would, just because we're deep and we've got a reg in the pot here, ludicrous. And it's only king 9 offsuit, we're not going to win trunks with it, so I'm just going to go ahead and check and play it pretty passively post-flop. Tens here versus Beach Boy, gets all in with king 6 on king 8 deuce. Pretty easy squeeze here. Obviously I'm not just hoping he jams, because he got king 6 in once, but when there's two people in pot, one's poker king who calls that out of position, one's probably not the greatest player in the world. I think it's definitely fine for me to go ahead and raise there for value and not be too sad if Beach Boy jams and I have to call it off. Ace 8 here I did raise because this guy's limped twice. I just think he's a fish. Ace high plays pretty well. Well, he doesn't play pretty well, but he's going to be ahead a lot. Obviously a straight gets there with Jack Queen, but I'm kind of hoping he's got King Queen and calls, or a worst ace, and might be able to get him to not call on the chop. And a simple note there, and he's obviously a fish, and I mark people who are fish as green. And like that, sort of when that king comes, I don't see the point of checking to induce or anything. I think it's just pretty clear, value bet. Interesting spot here. I've got pocket fives against kinger. I might 4-bet. I really don't want to just flat call, you see. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and let that one go, let these two battle it out. I don't want to 4-bet and get into a real weird spot. I don't want to flat call just 100 bigs deep, hoping to flop a set. And also if I do flat call, this AJS is just way more inclined to just go ahead and, repop it, and I just burned £31 basically. I think that's the easiest way of summing it up. I'm actually doing a session at 12:30. Well, AM, I guess. Yep, AM. And there's plenty of action online still. From micros to mid stakes. Really cool site. I love it. And they pay the rate back monthly. We pay the rake races, once monthly. Some are weekly, like every 2 weeks. The sprints and stuff. So the money really does add up on this site. King 8 suited. I was going to open the button, but once Undergun opens, I think everyone knows to fold there. Looks like a bounds of reg as well. He's on a few tables. Bolly 580. I think he played pretty bad earlier. They seem to be the regs. Saggy min raises under gun. I'm going to go and flat here. It's not something I really condone that you do and stuff, but in position versus min raise under the gun, I'm more inquisitive and just wanting to play a pot against him with a funky hand that could obviously stack someone. Um, you know, people when you flat will generally put you on pocket pairs or suit connectors. A lot of, they're not going to put you on queen nine a lot. I'm going to raise here for pure value. You can obviously have a flush or a hand that beats mine, but I don't want him to draw to a flush for cheap. I don't want to get value from him. I mean, I pretty much got the nuts now, and that's why I bet the pot, because I think he's going to call with any ace, and if he did have a flush, he's going to snap me off there, so I want to get the maximum. We'll find out what he had. I think he did have a flush, how quick he called. Yeah, he had the queen high flush. So pretty unlucky by him there, but I like my raise. And to be honest, he should have sort of, re-raised. He's out of position. I'm not going to be bluffing a ton. Or was he out of position? I'm not sure. Shows how bad my mind is at this time of night. But he should sort of be trying to get more money in that pot before a bad card comes for him, or a bad card comes for me. Queen eye flush is pretty strong. I'm not going to be bluffing a ton there, to be honest. He's fairly nutted, so he should be trying to build that pot. Good river for me, obviously spiking the 9. But that's just how I roll sometimes. Big pot here on table 4. 10, 9, 8, 2 spades, ace deuce, all in here. Offshoot folds, guess he was drawing pretty big. Queen deuce, I just made up the blind. Gonna go ahead and lead here with my flush draw and pair, pretty strong obviously. Once I turn it, just going to keep on betting value. King, queen, small blind I don't want to be flatting, I don't really want to be folding. So I'm just going to go ahead and 3-bet there for value. And the queen deuce obviously betting, massive again, because these people love to call. Honestly, it's gross how people just love to call on this site. So I just bet pot or twice pot sometimes and just know I'm going to absolutely print. Just fish will fish, basically. And I think that's one thing that I do really well, is just knowing a spot where somebody's pretty much got something where they're going to call, so I get the maximum for it. So that might be in a spot where, I've 3-bet pre-flop, I've got aces or something, or kings, and he comes like 3-3-4. They're going to call me, float me so often there that I can bet like 3/4 almost pot. Or in spots where I've got a flush, and, I've got a full house. It's pretty obviously they've got a flush. Why bet really small? Let's bet big. Let's get paid off. Obviously, it kind of stops them jamming, but a lot of times they're not going to jam. They just want to check call real quick and be over with the hand. King queen here, just an easy fold. His bet sizing weird. Obviously, he's the fish of the table. Once a fish pot bets, they've got it. I mean, I've only got a king high anyway, but I might have been able to get away from kings or queens there, to be honest. Fish generally don't bluff unless they are super aggressive all the time. So someone who calls pre-flop is probably not going to be the guy who's bluffing like crazy with nothing. The guy who 3 and 4 bets all the time probably is. There's different types of fish. A couple of big hands here. King's table 1, Queen's table 4. King 10 here, pretty obvious defend. I'm under the gun. He's 3-bet me with deep. I'm going to go ahead and just flat and play my hand a little deceptively. King 10, pretty easy call when I make top pair. King's pretty easy 3-bet blind v blind. Really good flop for us, 8-4-8. With the queens, King 10 now just a clear value bet. Awesome turn for us here with queens. He could definitely be checking aces or kings. I think a check raise would just look really strong. So I'm just going to go and bet pretty big here for value. If he's got ace king, he's folding. But if he was slow playing aces or kings, or if he randomly flopped an 8 or something, then well, he's not going to fold. Guy called a 3-bet and check raised me on this board. Just go ahead and get in. He's probably going to have like ace jack or a draw. I don't think he's going to have a set too often. He actually has jack 7, so I need a king, a 6, a club, or a 9. Bingo. I run pretty good. I mean, what's this guy doing calling a 3-bet opposition with jack 7? God, it's definitely my night and a good time to shoot a video, isn't it? Leave a comment if you love the look boxing. Ace Queen here, pretty obvious, just going to do a half pot C bet. Can get called by worse, obviously, draws and just random Ace 10, Ace, type floats. But a lot of time just going to take the pot down. Queen 9 here, fold. Queen 7, not actually sure what happened. I guess, sorry, sometimes this happens when I'm making videos, if you've seen any of my past ones. I'll be too busy sweating all-ins, I forget what I'm doing. But it's kind of hard to play, coach, blah blah blah. So I'll just go ahead and fold, whatever. Small pot. If it was a big pot, I'm sure I'd have paid more attention to it. But it doesn't look like I lost a heap of money there. So session's going really well. I think I'm up about £800-900 in this 20 minutes, which is really nice. Pretty much the dream sesh, the dream video. And although I'm running good, I hope it all makes sense to you, and I hope you know what I'm doing. That guy with Jack 7, if he folds, I win a ton of money without showdown. If he's got a draw, he doesn't get there on his own accord. If he wants to call me with a worse one pair, that's cool. Ace 3, I bet into my ace high flush draw. I think that's pretty standard. When the river bricks, I'm checking and hoping he checks, and it goes to showdown. He's bet pretty big here. Well, actually not pretty big, pretty weird. He's kind of ripping like a jack. Not too sure I believe him. I think he's got like king 10 or something random. He actually did have a jack. Nice play. Really nice value bet there. Really nice play. Deceptive. Lovely. Bolly 580. You are good. Ace 3 obviously doesn't beat much, but if he doesn't have a pair, I win. And this, I chop with other aces and stuff. Big pot here, three-handed 72 bet on a 5-9 king 5 with 2 spades by a bound. He's obviously repping a big king or a full house or even a 5. Everyone folds. Nice play. Or maybe bad play. If he did have a big hand and getting people to fold, that sucks, but I don't want to go for a cold 4 spot here with ace 10, especially after just stacking this guy and getting lucky. I think he might be a bit more prone to eyeballing me, so I can go ahead and make a fold there. 7-8 on the button, let's go ahead and min raise. Let's steal them blinds, £3 to pick up, risking 4. Happy days, good flop for us, make a pair. Making a pair is always fun. Get folds. Don't really love this with queen 3 suited, because please, whatever will raise a lot, but I'm happy to be in a pot with Beach Baby, basically. Maybe I could raise there, like 3-4 exit pre, but queen 3 suited is just a little bit out there, to be honest, so maybe just see a flop and see if I can bink something nice, and, risk £1.50 to try and do so. 7-8 suited in the cutoff, I think you all agree that's an open. A nice sexy hand to play, makes lots of straights and flushes and 2 pairs and all sorts. A real nice hand that cracks big hands, and you can play aggressively with draws and stuff. So far we've cooled someone, we've got there versus someone, we've got value versus someone by getting there. Pretty happy session. But I think I played all those hands really well. I hope you guys agree. A big call there. With the pair, Beach Baby's definitely the fish at the table. He's only got 73 quid left. So, let's start opening a little wider. Let's get in some pots with him. Sadly, he folds. Good flop for us here, though, with ace-6. But I'm going to go ahead and check back. It's a wet board. I expect to get check raised a lot and stuff on the board like this. Just going to go ahead and check and go to showdown. He's wrapping a 5 or a flush. Do I believe him? Do I not believe him? Probably just give him the credit. It's a bit too much to call. I'm not too sure it's that profitable in the long run. Maybe I could have bet the turn, but to be honest, I'm quite happy with how I played it. I think he's going to check a lot, and I'm going to win versus his ace highs, king highs, queen highs, and so on. And if he bluffs me, then you're the man. I'm not going to lose too much sleep over that pot. And don't get me wrong, these little pots do definitely matter, but I'm definitely fine with that hand. So again, if you want to sign up to Sky, click the link in the description below. Please leave comments. Make sure you go up and check the forum out. Get involved on the site. Also, I did a moving up series for Sky, where I started at 4-L and went all the way up to, these stakes. So make sure to check that out. Wow, Ace Queen all in versus Jack King. Boom. And I say boom because we want the fish to have the money. A bound's good. Beach Baby's not. Who do we want to have the money? Beach Baby. Okay, I mean I'm always defending here versus Beach Baby. Hopefully everyone folds. I want to be in a pot heads up with him. Sadly I'm not, but I'm still not folding because he's such a whale. I want to get into as many pots as possible, and King 4 suit is pretty cool. Flop a flush draw here obviously, but on quite a weird board. King on the turn, nice. I'm going to go ahead and start leading for value now. Obviously someone can have me beat, but with the flush draw as a backup, happy days. Going to bet pretty small here, just hopefully he makes a crying call with like a 9 or worse, which he does. I don't want to bet too big there, like he will understand the fact that I'm polarizing my hand and whatever. I just want him to, click the call button, and yeah, he did a pocket tens there. It's pretty much the same as a 9. Again, gonna call here, and that makes the nuts. Sadly, we brick. The 4 of clubs gave me some hope, but not this time it seems. And you can see everyone else is just calling him all the time, trying to get in pots with him. Not for me this one, so I'll just go ahead and let it go. Wow, he actually gets it through. Everyone's just calling with like any two. Jack Queen, well not any two, but any two playable cards. Gonna rep the King here, pretty dry board. Seba gets through a ton of the time here. So yeah, pretty easy, pretty obvious bet. Go ahead and click set our next BB on all tables. Wrap up the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm not going to defend with Queen 10, that would just be silly. Lots of easy folds, and the software's great here. I've got auto top up, auto buy in, selected seat. King 10 on the button, definitely an open. Pocket 3 is definitely an open. Nice, Beach Baby's called, although to be honest with Pocket 3s, I'd rather like get it in pre-flop or something versus him. AJS overcalled. I'm going to go ahead and bet here because I can rep pretty well. And obviously I can turn a pretty big hand. Versus a good reg here, I'm just going to shut down, hopefully improve, or hope he's got a draw or something. But I think a lot of times he's going to have a decent hand, so I can just go ahead and let him take that pot, really. And definitely no ego, definitely no silliness. If it's pretty obvious someone's got a hand, they're good. Why do we need to play against them? Pick up money way easier in better spots. Poker's all about taking the easy money, doing the simple, easy things, and then when you need to do the advanced things, go ahead and do it. But basic poker and just solid fundamentals will net you decent profit. Anything after that is awesome, it's a bonus. But just always remember the basics and don't do anything too stupid. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. This was John for PokerVIP.com. It was my mixed game video, well not mixed game, my mixed stake video on Sky Poker. Like I said, sign ups below. 30% rate back, rake races, free money, free rolls, free merchandise, the whole 9 yards. Please make sure you check out the forum. It's pretty awesome. Loads of blogs, strategy hands, people just getting involved. And yeah, check out all the videos and good luck. So this was John for PokerVIP.com.